The story of Buddha.
Kapilavastu is a small kingdom located in a serene surroundings in Himalayas. Though the kingdom was small, its fame was spread far and wide. The ruling king of Kapilavastu was Suddhodana and his queen was Maya Devi. One day, Queen Maya Devi dreamt a very strange dream, wherein a white elephant with 6 tusks poked into her womb. Though the dream was terrifying, she sensed a very pleasant feeling within her. 10 months later, Queen Maya Devi left to her father's place, Lumbini. But on the way, she gave birth to a male child. After the birth of the child, the surroundings became suddenly very calm and quiet. When the king got the news, he brought back his wife and child from Lumbini to his palace. Just then, sage Asitha came to visit them. The king and the queen named their son as Siddhartha. This boy is a blessed child. He will either be famous as king of kings, or he shall be a great sage. The king had high hopes that his son would be a great king. On the 7th day, Queen Mayavati suffered from acute illness. She summoned her sister Prajapati and took an oath from her that she would bring up Siddhartha as her own son, saying that Mayavati died. Siddhartha grew up receiving all the motherly care and love from Prajapati. One day, when Siddhartha was in his garden, he saw a bird fluttering in great pain with an arrow stuck to it. He took the arrow out and saved the bird. Just then, Devrat arrived there to see his bird he hunted in Siddhartha's hands. I shot the bird, so it is mine. Give it back to me.
I saved this bird, so it's mine.
Some years passed by. Dandapani, a Sakyan noble, arranged the Swayamvara of his daughter, Yashodhara. Princes from far and near came to the Swayamvara. Yashodhara chose Siddhartha as her husband. Dandapani was unhappy by his daughter's choice. When Siddhartha heard the news, he agreed to take all the different tests he was put under by the king. He succeeded in all these tests, and thus Siddhartha and Yashodhara were married with great pomp, living a life in great luxuries. Siddhartha was curious to explore the world outside his palace. The king permitted Siddhartha to go ahead. A few days later, Siddhartha drove in a beautiful chariot through the streets of the city. As he drove further, he saw an old man.
Channa, who is this? His head is white. He seems very weak. His skin is wrinkled.
He is an old man, master. He is bent with age.
Does everyone get old, Channa? Will my Yashodhara also grow old? Will I grow old too, with my strength going away with years?
Yes, my lord.
Stop the chariot, Channa. Who is this man who looks so calm and different from all the other men I have seen? What's the matter with this man, Channa?
He is ill, my lord.
Is disease peculiar to him?
No, No, my lord. Anyone may fall ill in his lifetime.
Even I?
Yes, master. Even you and me.
Why are they carrying that man, Channa?
He is dead, my lord.
Is he the only dead man? Or do others also die?
Everyone who is born has to die someday.
I feel sick. Channa, let us return back to the palace.
Yes, my lord. Before leaving, the prince returned to the bedroom of his wife. He saw his wife and child fast asleep. He left the place without disturbing them. He left on his chariot with Channa. After going little further, he gave away all his belongings to Channa and asked him to return to the palace. Siddhartha went in search of the great sages of those days. Not satisfied with their teachings, he entered into the thick jungles of Urubilwa. Siddhartha drank only water and ate only fruits and herbs. He slept on the hard ground. After some time, he started eating only one heap grain every day. This made him weak. He realized that starving does not help in reaching the truth. He moved towards a bodhi tree and sat beneath it. He had to bear heat, cold and rain, but he did not give up. Visions of the life of pleasure floated before his eyes, but nothing could tempt him. And then he saw a bright light. Siddhartha became the Buddha, the enlightened one. He returned to preach what he had known and experienced. He did this out of compassion for his fellow beings. Today, he has followers all over the world, but the largest number are concentrated in far eastern countries. He is a saint. He has given up life of pleasure and pain in search of truth.